Wow, this is really fascinating to me where this thing has gone. I had another recorded session and then accidentally deleted it. Like, I just trust those things. And so I'm realizing there's a part of this imagination unpacking. Like, what is it and how does it show up in our lives as an ally versus an enemy? Like, we use that statement, we let our imagination get the better of us. But I don't think we've ever let our imaginations get the best of us. Like, we've never trusted ourselves to go all in on what we think is possible. If we can describe heaven on earth, then... So I was just sitting there thinking, as it was deleted, thinking, where do we want to go? And just listening. And so I was one of 4 children, and we were a year apart. In fact, my younger brother and I are Irish twins, less than a year apart. And my mom had 2 boys, Mike, Louie, and then shortly thereafter got pregnant with me. And when they found out I was a girl, Dad said, "That's it, getting a snip." And he got a vasectomy, and 2 months later, my mom was pregnant again. And turns out the vest didn't take, but there was a huge amount of chaos in the home for a while. My mom said my dad did not trust that she'd gotten pregnant by him. So you can imagine the energy in the house, in the womb. So there's a lot going on here. And then my little brother Neil is born. And you can look at the pictures of me as a baby, and by about 12 to 14 months old, I don't look like the same child. And some hypnosis and other work that I've done on medicine has taken me back to that point where I'm clear about what was happening to my body at that point. And part of the reason I've had a hard time sleeping my whole life, the hypervigilance, is that my father would come to me in the crib under the auspices of changing me, and things would happen. And my mom said that I was about 14 months old, and I would sit up at night and talk all night in the crib. And I remember who I was talking to. There was a guide, a support person out there, giving me, like, my imagination was never fully extinguished as a child. And so I have been a super creative being my whole life. I'm always in an imagining state of being. Looking at things through that lens of curiosity has been a real gift in my life. No regrets here. And the price I paid to get it, isn't that what they say? Our wound becomes our superpower. So fast forward, I leave the Mormon church. I'm done with the imagination of a construct that's based in fear. So I'm done with external authority, the whole thing. And I think I'm never going to be a religious, spiritual person again. I get into this sort of agnostic middle ground. But then these really cool things kept happening, and I kept feeling some magic, and my imagination's running wild again, and the pessimism and the cynicism would knock it down, and yet I had been having spiritual experiences and downloads my whole life, but I wasn't really trusting them. They were just beyond, just childish stuff, right? Not even giving it any credibility, and I had no mentors around me to support any other perspective on it. And so you begin to gaslight yourself about who you are and what you know. and what you can trust. And and so after the first 3 years of downloads, after Mom died, I went into, okay, well, this is all very interesting, but what does it mean? And I went into a very cynical period, like, stop it. You've had enough superstition and religion and believing in devils and degrees of glory and kolob and planets and handshakes and names that if you reveal them to the world, oh my God, Lydia, you're going to hell. Just I had my fill of, so I was pretty skeptical, honestly, when the downloads started after my mom died. So it took 3 years before I really did much of anything with that. And the next couple of years were just examining imagination as an idea, as a mechanism, as a tool, as a gift, as a pathway to move into and out of constructs. Like, our dimensional realities are both collective and subjective. This, how we perceive what's happening shapes our view, but that's true collectively too. There's just this place that's just right, not so far beyond our collective imagination to begin to think that we could change things. Certainly there's a lot of gravitational pull in the shame direction of how dare you, and blasphemy, like to think that we're divine creatures, that we could shift the construct. That kind of goes against the whole authority out there story versus the power of love from in here. And so it takes a big leap of imagination, a big courage to trust that we are the ones we've been waiting for. And there will not be another Dalai Lama, and there will not be a savior coming to pick up some of the people and, good job hating on those queers. Good job going after those girls who had no money and couldn't, take care of themselves. Like, the consciousness of my mother and father at the time, all my life was coming into a crystalline prism of light. I had to fall in love with all of that. So the meaning making, you got to live at a mythological level to get to that place of meaning making, that there is grace for all of us in this process. And yet once you get there, it is such a soft landing for the whole human experience, such a graceful magic carpet ride to the next place, the place where we no longer deny our humanity. We no longer withhold dignity from each other. We no longer withhold dignity from ourselves. Like, dignity is a two-way street. We only get to give it to each other. We can't take it from each other because we end up taking it from ourselves. There are these immutable laws of love, these words that take the concept of love, the metaphysical, visceral, abstract we call love, and make it constructive in this world. Justice, peace, harmony, grace, kindness, compassion, empathy, forgiveness, boundaries, accountability, restitution, redemption. This path to redemption is one of the immutable laws of love that we are struggling with right now. We want to hold everybody else accountable for what's happening. And we can't do that. All we can do is hold ourselves responsible for our experience here and now. So choose well. Fall in love with your life. Let your imagination fill in the gaps of resistance that come up when you think about doing the thing that makes you the happiest, makes you feel the best, the most fulfilled, the most engaged, the most in alignment with your highest expression. From that place, and only from that place, can we live into the grace of this moment. And so I just, I guess I got to hang on to my imagination longer than most people. I'm grateful for my life. Everything, even the shingles. Life is happening for me, not to me. I'm going to be taking a little bit of cannabis for the next couple of days, so maybe I needed a break right now just to step into this channel fully. May it be so. Oh.